In this example, I'm going to make a simple coffee cup. I've got a simple setup with something already in my scene. This is a human figure here, as you can see, and it's a low poly, just something so that when I resize my coffee cup, I get the right dimensions. By default, Blender sets up one large square that I'm highlighting here to a meter. So as you can see, this is quite a good size, just under 2 meters, which is a standard sort of human figure height. My little life belt, my 3D cursor is in the center, and I also have around here a little add-on that gives me information about the shortcuts I'm using. As you can see, I'm zooming in and out. Now I'm using a magic mouse, so you can't see the clicks as such, but I'm control and stroking my mouse, or you can use the scroll wheel and shift, and I can use my magic mouse as well, and I'll move it to somewhere there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a cylinder, and in Blender, wherever my little life belt is, that's where things get added. Now I do a right mouse click, so with my left click it moves the 3D cursor, and to put it back I'll do a Shift C, which sort of zooms in and centers the 3D cursor, because that's where I want my cylinder. Or I can click here, and if I do Shift A, and I'll choose a cylinder, that's where it gets centered. It gets added to the scene and centered. Also notice when you do things in Blender, you frequently end up with a little panel here which you can click on, which gives you information. Don't click anywhere else or do anything else, because the panel will disappear. Make sure we have 32 vertices. Everything else, the defaults are fine, so I'll close that. And all I need to do is resize. So I'll do S and move the mouse, something like that. And I will zoom in, and I will do S Shift Z, which resizes it along every axis apart from Z. And now I will move the mouse around so I can see what's going on. Okay, that's about right. And I will do number keypad 1. Now remember, on a full-size keyboard, number keypad 1 puts me into front orthographic, number keypad 3 right orthographic, and number keypad 7 top orthographic. Or I can move with the mouse. If you've got a scroll wheel, hold the scroll wheel down and drag around, but I'll do number keypad 1. The next thing I want to play around with is I can see the planes. It's quite rough. I want a smooth result. Now for me, where I'm using a right mouse click select, I just press the W key and I'll choose auto smooth. If you've got a left click select, then right mouse click will bring it up. Shade auto smooth, and there we go. So I get a nice smooth result. Number keypad 1. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Now I need to go into edit mode, and also I'll move this to the right a bit. So G to grab, left click, boom. Remember, I'll just undo that. If you do something and you do right mouse click, that cancels it. But if I do G and left click, that says yes, I'm happy. I'm in object mode at the moment. So I'll press the tab key. That goes, well, it gives me the little pie menu. So I want to go into vertex mode. I'm going to edit mode. There you go. And it goes into edit mode. For yours, it'll probably just tab in and out. If I do tab again, and I'll go to object mode, or tab again and vertex mode, and there we are. Currently everything is selected, which I don't want. So I will just double tap A, single tap A selects all, double tap A deselects, and I just want to select the top vertices. And the simplest way is a box select. B, click and drag, and can you see they're all selected? Do check when you're doing things like this that you've got all the vertices selected, and then if I do that again but make a mistake, can you see when I do things, then if I start scaling or something else like that, I'm going to have a problem. So B, box select, and check you've got all the top. Number keypad 1, and I'll scale it just a little bit bigger. This is my coffee cup here. Now I want a little rim, so I need a small set of faces at the top. And for that, I need a loop. So what I do is Control R, left click, move up. And can you see I get a loop of vertices? So something like that. I now will go up to the face select mode. Click here, see in the top left, face select mode. And I will hold down the Option key and click on the little vertical line there so the whole rim selects, or Alt on the PC. And let's have a look. And that's fine. Number keypad 1. E to extrude, immediately left click. So I've now got two sets of faces, and it's the second set that have been selected, and I need to make it fatter. I need to scale it out, and that is done by Alt S, and move the mouse, as you can see, and I'll move it a little like that. Doesn't need much, and there you go. I'm still on face select mode, so I'll click there on the top face, I to inset, left click, E to extrude, and move down, and it forces itself to the Z axis. If it doesn't, just press Z. Now I drag down, and as I drag down, you can see it's too big. So I'll do S, and I scale it in. Now it's a bit difficult to see because the outside faces block the inside faces. So I'll come up here, and these are the viewport shading types, and I'll click on the first one here, and that's the wireframe. So you can see how far down it is, and I can do G, Z, something like that. I'm happy with that. And I'll go back up to solid view, click there you go. Double click, tab out, and this is my simple coffee cup. What I want is a lid as well, so I will tab into face mode. I will click on the face there, you see. Number keypad 1, let's go up. Now I'm going to duplicate that. To duplicate things in Blender is Shift D. So I'll do Shift D and move the mouse up. Now can you see it goes all over the place? I only want to go up in the Z, so I'll press Z. There you go, something like that. Left click, S to scale, something like that. Just slightly bigger. Now, I want to extrude it down to give like a lid, but I only want the edges to come down, because if I do E now, you see the whole thing, I get a cylinder. That's not what I want. So I can undo that. I will go to edge mode here, and you'll see now only the edges are selected. See, only the edges are selected. So if I do E, and there you go, I'll drag down. See, something like that. Now, I have two problems here. I have a face in the middle, so it's selected. So if I click on that one, well, you can't see. Let me go to face mode. See, that's that one. And if I click on the one underneath, I don't want that one because it's supposed to be a lid. It's supposed to be hollow on the inside. To delete things in Blender, X. So X, but faces. Yeah, I just want to delete faces. See, and there we go. Now, the red you're seeing is because I've got an option set to show faces that are flipped. And if I try and remember where the option is, there's a simple option. No, not there. Let's have a look. Here we go. It was here. So I click over on the overlays here, click on the drop down and face orientation. See, I always leave this on because red means the faces are the wrong way around. So I'll do A to select everything and Shift N, and you see the red goes away. That's just if you get it wrong. This will be a big problem when we start adding materials and lighting and things like that. But anyway, that's what we've got. And you can see it's red inside. That's correct. That's the inside of a face. And this is my simple coffee cup. Now, I'm going to separate the lid from the coffee cup, but first I need to select the lid. See, it's not selected. And the shortcut for that is, well, let me go to vertex mode, and I can hover over a vertex and L. L will select everything that's touching, you see, and if I do G, see, that's the only one that goes. And if I want to separate it out, I will do P by selection, tab out, and I will select that one. See, that's separate. Select that one, and that's separate, and that's my simple coffee cup. If you look in the top left here, sorry, in the top right here, we've got our outline, and you can see there's my human reference, here's my lid, and here's my cylinder. Well, they're both cylinders, but the lid and that's the main coffee cup, and this is the lid. But you see how they're named, cylinder, cylinder 001. So I can double click. Let's check. Yeah, that's the lid. Double click, and I'll call that lid. And I'll double click on the other one, and I'll call that cup. Return, and I will shift click. So they're both selected here, you see. Or I could right mouse click here and shift click, right mouse click there. Remember, I'm doing a right mouse click select. Or you can click here and shift click here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do M, new collection. A collection is a group, and I'll call this coffee underscore cup or whatever you want. Okay. And can you see how they're grouped? And double tap A. And now I can hide the whole lot at once. And I can click on that, still separate. Click on that, still separate. Click on coffee cup, right mouse click on the coffee cup here. And I can do things like duplicate, but if I do select objects, you see everything. So it's like a group. It's called a collection. And I can do G, etc. So this is just a simple coffee cup. And I'll do a quick save just in case. I'm on a Mac, so it's Command S. And that's how you create it. You can obviously change this to whatever you want. You can scale it up afterwards. But what we'll do in the next example is we'll add a simple material, change the color, etc., and then we can add it to our scene. I'll do number keypad 1. If I want to duplicate this, so they're both selected, so I click, shift click, then I can do Shift D and X, so it goes on the X, Shift D, X goes on the, and so on and so forth. I'll just undo that. Notice, by the way, when you duplicate things, Blender name things automatically by adding an 001, 002, etc., etc. But I'll undo that and save. And that's my simple coffee cup.